Tonight we're hitting this topic of ethics. Interesting. What is ethics? The study of ethics. Well, getting right into it, folks. Christian ethics is simply about the question, or the answer to the question, what is right? What's right? And you see the signpost up there. It's got all kinds of different directions that you can go. You can go the right way, you can go the wrong way, you can do things because it's your duty, or you can do things because it's good. All of these things are things that we want to know which direction, God, do you want us to turn through the course of our day? Because we all have to make all kinds of decisions, and we want to make the right decision, don't we? Of course we do. Now the world, though, says there's no such thing as right or wrong. That is what we're being taught. That's what the children are being taught in the elementary schools all the way up through the universities. If you go into a university class on ethics, they're going to basically tell you that there is no such thing as absolute truth. And that's why we've got a world that's in a mess right now. Because, as you know, and I mean, I don't need to tell you, the ethical standards out there today that are being practiced in the world are a mess. Doesn't seem like there's any ethical standards, does it? People seem to be able to do whatever they want to do. And we end up having to be the ones suffering from it all. And I think the Christians need to be able to answer some very fundamental questions. And this is kind of one of them. If you try to point out, especially even to a brother or sister, bro, if you keep on doing that, you're going to suffer. There's going to be consequences. And they'll turn to you and say, hey, don't judge me, bro. You know, they'll say something, who made you the judge? Right? And they'll say, doesn't the Bible say, judge not, lest you be judged? In my life, as 30 years plus walking as a Christian, this has been a stumbling block amongst people, even in the church. Because we don't want to be held accountable. We become so independent. We live our lives in our own houses, and we don't want anybody to tell us how to live our life. Sadly, most Christians probably agree, and as you'll see, we're going to get into some surveys, most Christians do agree that we're not supposed to judge one another. Well, Matthew 7:1-5 is where we get that scripture. Judge not, lest you be judged. The very first verse in that is, judge not, or you too will be judged. So there's a kind of a warning again. For in the same way that you judge others, you will also be judged. And with the measure that you use, it will be measured to you. So, better be careful before I start pointing the finger at someone else. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye when you've got a plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take that speck out of your eye, when all the time there's a big plank in yours? And it concludes, you hypocrite. First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. So, two questions here. The first one is this. Is that scripture saying that we're never to judge? No, it's not. It's actually saying that there are conditions to judging, isn't there? If you're going to point your finger, be careful. You got those three pointing back at you. So it says, first, judge yourself. And then you'll be able to help pull that speck out of your neighbor's eye. So the first commandment we're given is when it comes to wanting to be right, to be righteous, to live an ethical life, is to continually judge ourselves. Look in that mirror and don't forget what we saw. Galatians 6:1 says, brethren, if a man is overtaken in any kind of a trespass, you who are spiritual are to restore such a one in a spirit of what? Gentleness, considering yourself lest you be tempted. So we don't come across with a holier-than-thou attitude. That's why humility is so very important in our own lives, realizing that we're the first problem, and then let God work on us.